Hi, this is Gary with MACMOST.com. Let me show you how you can customize the clock at the top right corner of your Mac screen. MACMOST is brought to you thanks to a great group of more than 1,000 supporters. Go to MACMOST.com/Patreon. There you could read more about the Patreon campaign, join us, and get exclusive content and course discounts. So at the upper right hand corner of your Mac screen in the menu bar you should see a clock. This will tell you the current time and may give you more information like the day of the week and the date. You can customize to some extent what the clock shows, but the one thing you can't do is get rid of the clock entirely. This is because it acts as a button as well as a clock. If you click on it, it will bring up Notification Center and Notification Center widgets. You can click on it again to dismiss it. In addition, if you hold the Option key down and click on it, it will turn on Do Not Disturb mode, whatever your default focus mode is. Option clicking will turn that off. Notice how the clock changes to be grayed out or dimmed when Do Not Disturb is turned on. If you'd rather not have that, go to Control Center right here and then take the Focus widget in Control Center. Drag that into the menu bar. Once you have this other indicator that Do Not Disturb is on, then the clock is no longer the indicator. You can still Option click on it to turn Do Not Disturb on or off, but it will no longer dim to indicate that it's on. Now to customize what the clock shows, in macOS Ventura you go to a different place than where you would have gone in macOS Monterey before. You go to the Apple menu and to System Settings. And System Settings, of course, is different than System Preferences. And the menu bar clock settings can be found if you go to Control Center. Of course, Control Center is just this one icon here in the Mac menu bar. But Apple has grouped all of these buttons into Control Center here in System Settings. So you're going to see things like Control Center modules here and you can determine what goes into the menu bar and what does not. But if you scroll down you'll find a menu bar only section. And the first item there is clock. And you can't turn it on or off, but there is a big button for clock options. Click that and now you have all the options to change what this looks like. The first one is whether or not to show the date. There are three options here. One is to never show it. Another is to always show it. And the third is only when space allows. So if sometimes you're in apps that have very large menus or you have a lot of buttons here on the right side of the menu bar, then the date will disappear if the left side of the menu and the right side of the menu meet. So it creates a little bit more space for buttons and menus. You can also turn on whether or not the day of the week is shown. So you'll see that before the month if you want to. Now there's also an option here for use 24-hour clock. So instead of AM and PM you'll simply see the time represented all the way up to 23 hours 59 minutes. But even if you have that turned off and just have the regular 12-hour clock, you can turn off AM and PM with this setting here. If you want to see some activity going on in the clock you can turn on Flash the time separators and you can see the colon there will flash for each second. You could also just have the seconds displayed in the clock there. So if you want you can really minimize the clock by having show date set to never, day of the week turned off, AM and PM turned off, and you really just have a few digits and a separator. But if you want it to be even smaller you can go to the analog clock. This will just show a circle with two lines in it telling you the time. So now it's about the same size as the rest of the buttons and it still works to bring up Notification Center. And if you use Option click it will turn on Do Not Disturb mode. You can see it's on there and now it's off. But the analog clock doesn't dim. And that's as close as you can get to getting rid of it if you want. Now the clock also obeys the settings in General and then Language and Region. So for instance if I were to add a new language here and switch to it, you can see how the language is obeyed there for say the month, but also even for things like how AM and PM are represented. Now it's also controlled by the calendar setting here. So if you choose a different calendar then you'll see the month and day represented according to that calendar. Hope you found this useful. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, click the thumbs up button below to let me know. I publish new tutorials each weekday. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out.